This has been a tough 3 days, I'm not going to lie. And it seems like it's been for a lot of people online who share the same feelings as I do. At first, I was in utter disbelief that Charlie Kirk got shot in such a violent, horrific manner on a rooftop about 200 yards away. At first, I thought it was AI, that's how horrific the video was. But I can't get that video out of my mind, and I won't ever. I had to take the entire day off. I couldn't think rationally. I felt like life could not be normal ever. To hear the words Charlie Kirk has been assassinated still gives me a horrible gut feeling. I've never reacted to news in such a sad manner to someone I've never met, and I'll be honest, I've cried multiple times. I'm not ashamed to admit it, because a lot of us felt like we knew Charlie because we share the same mindset as him. He was such an honorable, kind human that only ever wanted to have conversations with people he disagreed with, to spread Christ, to spread common sense politics. Charlie Kirk was the reason Donald Trump got elected, no questions asked. He was one of the reasons I became obsessed with politics when I was a sophomore in high school. And every conservative uses his talking points. If you watch Candace Owens' video talking about him, they would study and practice their comebacks to liberals' arguments. I always wondered why he was so smart, but he simply worked harder than everyone. But it's all because a weak, liberal, low-testosterone, college-educated male was so radicalized into believing Charlie Kirk was a fascist, so radicalized to lose sight of his future, to go against God and any morals by committing murder, and is now being celebrated by parts of the left. The left is mocking his death because they took the biggest threat against them, but what they ended up doing is creating even more people like him. But how could a guy that grew up in a Republican household with an ACT score of 34 and a 4.0 GPA throw his wife away or act so retarded into thinking he could run? Well, I have the answer as to why people like him exist, but please bear with me because there's a lot of factors. This goes into the messaging that Charlie taught us. People want to fill the void that they have in their life with something that will make them feel useful or of significance. And that's why you see liberals become radical feminists, pretending like they are in the suffrage movement, or enter the Black Lives Matter movement, thinking that there is something as significant as the civil rights movement. No one wants to be called a racist or sexist, so the best thing they can come up with is pandering over to the black community or females. The problem is they're incapable of thinking for themselves. Their thought process is based on what other people tell them. They are told their female rights are taken away if you support abortion. They become so radicalized, arguing ripping a baby out of a mother limb from limb is acceptable because it's their body, their choice. Yeah, great argument, pal. That argument never made sense. George Floyd was MLK. Boom, protests in the streets. Then that turns to riots because a lot of black people are opportunists, meaning they see an opportunity to commit theft, so they take it. Not sure if that's a good cause, liberals, but go off, queen. Donald Trump is a fascist. Boom, Trump is Hitler and must be taken out. And their whole life is based on them having these ideas and being so vocal about it because they think it makes themselves look good around their surrounding peers. In a way, they are professional people pleasers because it seems like it's the popular idea, so they go with it. Now, unfortunately for them, it's no longer as popular, but their ego is so high that they keep going further and further left to convince themselves their ideology is right. The transgender movement, the idea of allowing young children and mental incapacitated adults to access medication that will make them infertile, enlarge their heart, or get osteoporosis, is totally fine because we accept people for who they are and their choices. You're born how you are. I think you're getting what I'm saying, but that's how these losers are created, and it's a shame that with this American privilege that we have, they use it on false ideas because they are so easily manipulated. One of the more important parts of the equation regarding men get lonely if they don't have a woman in their life or if they're always denied by them. So if you have the men be a part of these far left ideologies because women predominantly have these opinions, let's be honest, most of the liberals are women, the men try to convince the females that they are worthy to be dated if they vote alongside them. It's like that guy friend that constantly tries to hang with the same girl that friend-zone him, hoping being nice to her will win her over, but it never happens. This is how you create the little boy that killed Charlie. Now, another thing I'd like to mention, some people may be surprised that it was a white man that killed Charlie, not a black person, but I'm not for the reasons that I listed. Weak men are the biggest danger to America. Okay, maybe African Americans take that since they commit the majority of crime, but they're definitely up there. And I want everyone to use Charlie's death as motivation to do well in life, to preach Jesus, to speak up against liberals and their disgusting views on the world that are anti-Christ, disavow the devil that are amongst these people, to not victimize yourself. If you're black, slavery is no longer an excuse, and it hasn't been for over 100 years. If you're gay, you don't have to be. Pride is sinful. Find an honorable wife or husband and be loyal to them and have children. Don't let sin consume your life. If you live a biblical life, you will be awarded beyond measure. This is the message Charlie would want us to go with, not us being violent. We have to learn from Charlie, and we can say, no, you're wrong to people.